And we're live on May 4th. I didn't even realize it was May 4th. And I'm wearing a Star Wars themed shirt. Look at that. Sometimes the world, things just work out. But we're here, May 4th, first Sunday of May. I believe we're right around 120 days, 120 days or so, 120-ish days till kickoff. So we're about 4 months away, about 4 months away. James is here. Both Jameses are here. Um, Nice to see you guys. Marvin is here. The Jedi McCarthy is coming. Yeah. Speaking of McCarthy, as I'm going to set up this mock here. This is probably going to be our last rookie mock. I know a lot of people, a decent amount of people, still do mocks through the month of May, June, and stuff, or real rookie drafts. But I think we're gonna leave it to. This is probably going to be our last rookie mock draft, which is a little bit bittersweet, that's for sure. But I'm leaving the link here. Hop on in if you want, and drop your questions, guys. Drop your questions. I'd love to kind of fill the time. Just me today, so I'd love to fill the time with some questions if you have them. Like James here says, my buddy's on the clock and he's offering me Tootin for Cedric Tillman and Bailey. Smash accept. I would accept that. Unless, James, you play in like a super deep league, like an incredibly, like you're starting 12 teams start 12 teams start 14. Maybe I'd lean that's when guys like Tillman and Bailey actually are potential, starting pieces. But if you play in any type of like 12 teams start 10 or lower, I would take the Tootin. Bashal Tootin. Yeah. 12 teams start 10. This is going to be a super flex, Stevie. Maybe if we get enough people in, and fill it up, and enough people watching, I'm down to do another one. I'm down to do another one and do a one QB. But this is going to be a 12 team super flex. We'll say start 10, 1.2 PPR. 1.25 tight end premium here. So, are your guys' rookie drafts done? Let me know if they are. A couple of mine are done. A couple of mine haven't started yet. Our listener leagues in particular, we haven't started yet. But um, Marvin says he did my mocks. It's crazy to see the values vary so much. They do. They do vary, and they do go up and down and stuff. I'm actually going to share. Let me share the screen here, guys. Go ahead and hop in, everybody, if you're in here. We'll try and hopefully get at least half full. I'd love it to get it completely full. We got 9 people watching, so hop on in the mock, and should be a lot of fun. It is crazy to see the values. I think the top 7 seems to be pretty solidified. And then after that, it can vary quite a lot from like that 108 to 202 range. It really can vary. I'm going to make sure I got all the settings here correctly in place. There we go. We got to make it linear. My team going into the year, what you think? Let's see, Cheesehead. So you got 12 team. And by the way, you said team. This is something really, really important that I do want to point out. You said my team going into the year, and I know what you mean. Like this is your team right now after the rookie draft, I assume. Although I don't see any rookies there. Okay, no, you still got your picks. You don't have to start a roster for 4 more months, right? Always keep that in mind, and that's why I always tell people when you're drafting, don't draft like you're trying to fill a starting roster right now, for a couple of reasons. One, it's not redraft, and even in redraft, I tend to not do that. Two, it's Dynasty, and we're not setting our rosters for 4 more months. So we can make trades, we can make moves, we can pick up guys off the waiver wire. So, but anyways, let's see the team here. You got Kyler Murray, McCarthy, Anthony Richardson. I love that quarterback room. I mean, you got a starter in A. Rich and Daniel Jones, and then you got Murray and McCarthy, which is going to be a pretty fun room. There's no one definitive there. Like no one you can say, okay, this guy, probably Kyler is the closest to that. Like this is my top 12 guy, my top 7 guy, but you have a lot of potential there. You got Puka, Marvin Harrison Jr., Amon Ra, DJ Moore, I assume that is. Shaheed Leggett, Yoshi Voss. You got Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren, Kamani Vidal. Tight ends are Hawkinson, Sinnott, Pixar. So you're getting 101. So you're getting Genty and the 105. So you're probably going to get, well, we'll see who you get here. You're getting Genty, and then you're getting, Tet, Travion, Quinshawn, um, and Travis Hunter. I don't know why I blanked on his name. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more spots here, guys. Dropping the link once again. Dropping the link once again. Let me see what the ADP is. I see your question there. Oh, it is set to there you go. It was set to a one quarterback ADP. Appreciate you pointing that out, Stevie, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good team with the pieces you're going to be adding there as well. A lot of potential at the quarterback room. I mean, you're adding Genty and probably maybe another running back to that room. You got Puka, Marvin Harrison, just a lot of potential on that team for sure. In my 14 man went to 205. In my 10 man, he went 301. So I've done two drafts, 2 rookie drafts completed. Two in one of them. This was a 14 team as well. He went at the 206, so essentially the 208 in a 12 team. And then in another league, Two went at the 206. So he's kind of a mid-second round pick right now. So that's where people are valuing him. Still looks like we lost a couple people. Still got a bunch of spots open, guys. If anyone wants to join us, please do. Please join us. If you want to join us, we'd love to get at least a couple more people in here. I mean, we got 11 people watching, so we can definitely get some more people in here. That's for sure. Yours are all next week, Benjamin. Yeah, you're in our listener league, right? We got one starting tomorrow and then one in 2 weeks. I have a slow draft next weekend and then a normal draft next month. Okay, so a lot of people, I know there's kind of a range of like, do you prefer to start it right in the beginning or do you prefer to start it, wait a couple of weeks? So it's good to see that there's still a lot. I'm in the middle of one having fun. Got Tet at the 107. Nice. I had one finish here, and I had a great draft, in my opinion. So I got Genty at the 101, Cam Ward at the 105, Travion Henderson at the 106. Mind you, this is like a point per carry. I forget how many points per carry, but it's a PPC league. So I got Genty at the 101, Cam Ward at the 105, Travion Henderson at the 106, Tyler Warren at the 112. It is a tight end premium as well. Cam Scadaboo at the 203, Dylan Sampson at the 303, DJ Giddens at the 403. So I feel like I cleaned up on that one. Only had 2. I really enjoyed starting on draft day. No timer, and the draft ended Monday. I think maybe Sunday. Okay, should I trade Genty and Flowers for Justin Jefferson? Probably, Marvin. What is how many starters in that league, Marvin? Like how many players are you starting, not including kickers and defense? How many quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends? We're going to give this just like 3 more minutes, guys, and I don't want to make the people in here wait too long. We're going to give it 3 more minutes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots open. So we got enough people watching. Hop on in. We're doing a rookie mock draft that is a 12-team super flex PPR, start 10, 1.25 tight end premium. Yeah, how many starters there, Marvin? Let me know. Meant going into the draft. Got it. Constantly trying to trade. Yeah, I know. I see all your comments, she said. I see all your comments, and I love it. I love it. So keep them coming. Really high in Marvin Harrison, the Murray stack. It's either going to be Tet, Travion, or Judkins, whoever is there. Yep, for sure. For sure. I got 2 in without trading. Where did you get him? James, did you mention where you got him? Who's your personal 102? I feel like everyone has their guy between Hampton, Hunter, Tet, and Ward. Mine is Hampton. 2-minute warning, guys, and we're going to start this up. Mine's Hampton. And I could see the argument for, I'm kind of out on Tet being my 102 personally. I'm kind of out on Tet being my 102. To me, it's either Hampton, Ward, and then if you really feel that way about Hunter. And the reason why I say that Because most people play. It depends on your starting roster a little bit. Like if you play in a 10 or 12 team, start 10 or lower, you kind of need heavy hitters, and so I think Travis Hunter has that more potential of a heavy hitter, of a boom type of player, right? And also quarterback. Like if you play in a 12 team, start 12, a 14 team, then I think it's Cam Ward. So it really depends on your settings, but in a kind of standard, 12 team, start 8, 9, 10, it's probably Hampton for me. I can see the argument for Ward. Um, Me personally, I'm not going to take Travis Hunter at the 102. It's either going to be Hampton or Ward, but that's who it is. Yeah, hop on in. We got a 1 minute warning here. Still 5 spots open, and then we're starting. Start 9, no tight end premium. Okay. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I would take. Mm. To me, what this trade is in a start 9, no tight end premium, a 12 team. To me, this trade is kind of Genty for Jefferson. Flowers is not really going to matter if he continues to do what he's been doing. I'm fine either way. I probably lean Jefferson here, but I understand the people that want to take Genty and Flowers. I understand it. I understand it. All right, we're starting this bad boy up. Make sure I'll make the picks. I'll fill in the picks for so the auto pick doesn't kind of mess it up here. And let us get started here. Keep dropping the questions and comments, guys, in the chat. I love reading through them. It's exciting times. We are going to be transitioning a little bit towards redraft content in the next, probably around June. We'll still talk Dynasty a lot, but we're going to be also putting out redraft stuff. And honestly, redraft stuff is still relevant to Dynasty football, incredibly relevant, because Dynasty is becoming more and more like redraft in the sense of how we value guys. And I won't make you guys wait here. Obviously, I'll take Ashton Genty there. Been looking to trade DJ Moore before the draft. What's the least you'd take for him at this point? The least I would take for DJ Moore is probably the 106, maybe 107. Probably the 107 is probably the least I'd take. To me, the 107 is that tier. It's a pretty good tier of guys. And sorry if my connection's a little off here, guys. But to me, the top 7 guys are a pretty solid tier here. If I can get into that tier with DJ Moore, I would happily do it. Beyond that, I'd probably just keep DJ Moore. I think he's going to have a good year. I do think he's going to have a good year. In the one draft I'm going to have on right now, I have Ward, Harvey, Trey Harris, and Mason Taylor. So the one draft you have going on right now, you have Cam Ward, RJ Harvey, Trey Harris, and Mason Taylor. Interesting. I like it. You had the next spot, so just waited. Guy ended up taking someone else. Nice. Nice. Have JSN, Neighbors, Nakua, Walker, and Bijan. JSN, Neighbors, Nakua, Kenneth Walker, and Bijan. It's a pretty nice team there. That's a really nice team there. You see Ted McMillan off the board, Travion Henderson at the 103. Travion Henderson's one of those guys that really ranges from like the 103 to the 107. I'm gonna go ahead and take. We'll go ahead and take Travis Hunter here. This is my top 7. I'm gonna pick for Team 7 here. This is my top 7 right here. I feel pretty confident in this top 7. If it's a tight end premium, which this is a tight end premium, I'd probably throw in 1 or 2 of the tight ends potentially. But if it's a non-tight end premium, this is my top 7. So appreciate you, Cheesehead. Yeah, appreciate you. We try to get to everyone, show everyone love. Obviously, it gets a little bit harder, but if you guys do ever have any I'll usually try and answer trade questions and things like that. If you do have a desperate need and it's super busy or a lot of comments and stuff, and you need me to get to it, there is the option to super chat and all that. I'm not saying, I'm still going to read questions whether you super chat or not. And yeah, we're going to be live. When the football season starts, I'm going to try and go live almost every single day during the football season. So kickoff of the Thursday night week 1 game all the way till like the end of week 17. Probably won't go live much during week 18, but and basically we're just going to be answering questions. So we're going to see how that goes, like start sit stuff. I'm super excited for it. I hope you guys all join. If you guys are new, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and join our Discord. Join our Discord. I'm going to leave the link to the Discord. It's free to join, so I'm going to leave it in there. I imagine as we get closer to the season starting, it's going to be getting a little bit more busy in there as we see a Mecha Ibuka off the board. And we have some listener leagues. We're putting together. We have 3 Dynasty leagues already with listeners. Maybe we can get a 4th one. It's going to be hard, but we also going to do redraft. I'm sure a lot of you play redraft here as well, and we're going to do some redraft listener leagues as well. So I'm kind of excited to start talking redraft a little bit. I'll go Tyler Warren here, and then Jackson Dart. We'll let Ron make the pick here. Where are you guys seeing Jackson Dart fall in your drafts? For those of you that's been starting, as we see Colston Loveland off the board. 2 questions. Jackson Dart, where's he falling? Loveland versus Warren. Who you guys got? I've always been Team Warren. Even after round 1 of the NFL draft, I was on Team Warren. I see the argument for both. I have them in the same tier. So I'm going to go ahead and take RJ Harvey here at the 112. I've seen Harvey go as high as the 106, which is kind of crazy to think. Like Harvey going. People are super in on it, though. People are super, super in on RJ Harvey. And I'll go Matthew Golden here as Troy is on the clock. I was saying who I had in reference to the Jefferson trade for. Yeah, I got that. I mean, you probably need running back slightly more because you have a really good top 3 in JSN, Nakua, Neighbors. And then, Flowers is a fine wide receiver 4. And all you have is Bijan and Kenneth Walker. But man, it's Justin Jefferson, right? Like, it's hard to pass up on Justin Jefferson. I'm fine either way. I might slightly lean Genty considering your team in particular. So, yeah. I'm fine either way, though. I am fine either way. As I am on the clock here, we see Cam Scattaboo go. Caleb John. There's a lot of good value in this early second round, man. I mean, Matthew Golden, first round pick at receiver. Luther Burden, top 40 pick, was it? And going to the Bears. I'm starting to really like the Burden pick a little bit more. Like, I'm starting to like it a little bit more. And just kind of like good players are going to stand out. They're going to stand out. Whether they're in a crowded situation or not, they're going to find a way to stand out. So, Besh, Caleb Johnson, Scattaboo. So that is my top. Yeah, we're kind of just following my rankings here. Besh is off the board. Burden's off the board. I'm going to go with, man, I'm super excited about this next player here. I'm going to go Kyle Williams. I'm incredibly, incredibly excited about Kyle Williams. I think he's going to be really good. And I really like the Drake May Patriots offense. Like I'm kind of buying low on that stock right now. So I'm excited about it. I really like Warren with Anthony Richardson. Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be good. And the tight end, there's a lower bar for tight ends to be relevant. They don't need 1,000 yards to be relevant, right? They can do it with 700 and some touchdown. I also think he's sneaky going to get some carries as well, like they did in college with him. Is Sam Darnold worth the 109 and the third? I'll make this pick and then I will answer that question. We'll go ahead and take Tyler Shuck. I still have Tyler Shuck go in the 4th round in one draft. I was like, man, I was amazed by that. Sam Darnold to me is probably, I'd say he's worth basically that. If I had Sam Darnold, I don't think I would trade him for anything less than the 108, 109. So if I had to throw in a third, to get him, depending on my team. It really depends on my team and my build. Like, what is Sam Darnold to your team? Is he your QB3? Is he your QB2? Right? If he's your QB3, maybe you're better off like he's saying, you know what, I'm just gonna take Jackson Dart at the 109, which in all the drafts I've been in, you can get that. Um, I'll take Jackson Dart at the 109, and as my QB3. If he's my QB2, then maybe it's Darnold. So I think he's worth right around there. Um, the third doesn't mean too much to me, so I'm fine with sending the 109 for Darnold. It does depend on, and I would be okay with taking it as well, like Cheese has said. I'd be okay with taking it. That's like right in his range. That's like right in his range. I'd probably want a little bit higher if I was trading him away, but as we got Kevin here. What's up, Kevin? Let me make this pick here. Tyler Shuck off the board. Jaden Higgins is not off the board, and interesting. No, interesting. I know he's going to Houston, which is a little bit crowded receiving room there. We'll go ahead and take him, and then we'll take Mason Taylor. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take Mason Taylor here. We'll take Mason Taylor in a 1.25 tight end premium. Could be the number 2 target for the Jets pretty easily there. What's the highest you would take for Kyle Williams, and why is he like 300 plus on Sleeper? I don't know why he's that far on Sleeper. That's a good question. I mean, he was kind of a he was like a sleeper back in like February, March, even early March. He was like a legitimate sleeper. Like guys that, if I made a video on him, I would have said like, oh, like target this guy late in the 4th round or undrafted, on waiver wires after your rookie draft. Like that's kind of how much of a sleeper he was. I don't think it's really adjusted here on sleeper. Like he was a legitimate sleeper until like the last month or so, and then he's kind of skyrocketed. I have him in my tier 5, Stevie. This is in a non-tight end premium. I have him in my tier 5, and my tier 5 starts at pick 15. So let me make this pick here, the next couple of picks, and then I'll read you off my tier 5 as we go. Dylan Sampson, and we'll go Jaden Blue. Did he? Oh no, he got taken by a nice pick there, Ron. I like the pick. We'll go ahead and take Trey Harris. Interesting to see. I've never seen. I don't know if I've ever seen Trey Harris fall to the 301 in rookie mocks where I wasn't just the only one. We had other people. That's interesting. Curious what you guys think about Trey Harris, and then I'll give you my thoughts about him. But so the highest I would take him, my tier 5 is Tyler Shuck, Cam. This is my order from 15, starting at 15. Shuck, Scattaboo, Besh, Burden, Kyle Williams, Jaden Higgins, 20. So I'm literally saying, like, to me, he's the 203 to like the 208. That's what Kyle Williams is. I'd probably be taking guys like Burden over him, Scattaboo over him, Besh. But if you really did like him, I kind of have him in that tier, and I really do like him. I really, really do like him. I think he's a really good player, man. I really do. And that wide receiver room is so open for someone to really be like the guy for Drake May. I think Diggs is going to be good, but he's an older guy coming off an ACL injury. Demario Douglas is what he is. Like, I really, really think as we see Jalen Milroe off the board here, I really think that like Kyle Williams is going to be really damn good. So. But appreciate everyone hopping in. Keep dropping the questions, guys. Rookie questions that you have if you're on the clock, trade questions, things like that. Tiers, stuff like that. I have a couple big tiers here. My tier 3 is from pick 4 to 7. I mean, it's not big, but it's 4, 5, 6, 7 is a tier for me. So I'm trying to trade back. If I have the 104, 105, I'm trying to trade back to the 107 if possible. I have a pretty big tier from the 108 to the 202. It's basically all these guys that went here is a pretty big tier for me. As James, if you're here, you are about to auto pick. I'll give you a few seconds after you time out here, but yeah, I don't know what the reason is for him. I'm not I'm not a big Trey Harris guy. I have a hard time seeing Trey Harris being productive in that offense. I know it seems like a wonderful spot. Like, oh yeah, we get Chargers, Chargers wide receiver sounds great. I have a hard time. I really do have a hard time like finding where the production for Trey Harris is gonna be. Yeah, because just think about it. He's not gonna out target. He's not gonna out target Lad McConkey. Okay. The Chargers and Herbert always target the tight ends. Always. Will freaking Disley last year was a relevant tight end. He was a streaming tight end for fantasy. Will Disley was a streaming tight end for fantasy um, for a few weeks there. Herbert targeted the tight end 22% of the time. Tyler Conklin is probably the tight end one for the Chargers, and Will Disley's still there. I think Tyler Conklin's going to have a pretty good year with the Chargers. Um, Quentin Johnston is now going to be free to no longer have to play that X receiver role, and he's going to be able to play the more of that Z role and not play. He's terrible when his back is to the quarterback. Quentin Johnston cannot play wide receiver with his back to the quarterback, which is what you need an X wide receiver to do. So Trey Harris is going to be that X wide receiver. Mike Williams is still there as well, who he's a veteran, older guy, but has that connection with Herbert. This team's also going to run the ball probably over 500 times. I'd be shocked if them having Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton that they don't run the ball 500 times this year, about 30 times a game. They ran it about 27 times a game last year. I'd be very surprised if they didn't run it 500 times. I have a hard time finding where the production for Trey Harris is coming from. I think it's great for the Chargers. They desperately needed an X wide receiver to play on the outside. That's what they needed last year. They tried making Quentin Johnston, Josh Palmer. I think they really wanted DJ Shark to be that player, and then he got injured, and it just didn't work out. They desperately needed that. I think it's great for the Chargers. I think it's great for Herbert. I think it's great for McConkey. I think it's great for the offense overall to have a guy like Trey Harris. Fantasy-wise, I don't really see where the production for Harris is going to come. Now, I will say this. I'm extremely worried about I've been kind of out on Trey Harris all offseason. He's the guy I'm most worried about being wrong about because I feel like if I am wrong about him, he's going to be a massive hit, like a massive hit. So I'll take a couple guys here that I really like. Jarquez Hunter is really, really intriguing to me. I think he could beat out Blake Corum as the RB2 of the Rams. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jarquez Hunter here. And then DJ Giddens. I saw DJ Giddens in a couple drafts go undrafted. He's probably the backup to Jonathan Taylor. And that has a lot of value. So I'm definitely taking him late third here. Definitely taking him late third. Where do I have Jaden Blue? Jaden Blue is in my tier 6. So I told you guys my tier 5. Tyler Shuck, Scadaboo, Besh, Burden, Kyle Williams, Higgins. And then I have my tier 6, which is Sampson, Blue, Tootin, and Trey Harris. So it's picks 21 to 24. So it's the end of the second round is where I would be taking Jaden Blue, right? Kind of right where he went, right in that range where he went. I think Jaden Blue is. I think Jaden Blue is potentially Tony Pollard for this offense. Like Tony Pollard when he was kind of the 1B to Zeke. Tony Pollard when he was best when he was getting like 200 touches in a season and not 300. I'm talking about 2020, 2021 and 2022 Tony Pollard. As I do need to make my pick here. We'll go ahead and take Fannin. We'll take Fannin. Giddens is off the board. And we'll go ahead and take my boy Devin Neal. Sucks to see him over the sixth round, but man, he could easily beat out Kenji Miller as the RB2 for this team. So yeah, that's where I have Jaden Blue. I think he's going to be Tony Pollard. Is he going to be that year one? I don't know. But I think he could potentially be Tony Pollard again, like the 170 to 215 touch Tony Pollard with 40, 50 catches, 150 carries or so, like right in that range. And then we'll see about the touchdowns. Yeah, I know that's not you. That's the other James here. He's the horse James, as we call him. Quinton Dropston. He is Quinton Dropston because he cannot play with his back to the quarterback. But now you free him up to where he's not forced. You play him, move him around the offense, give him passes behind the line of scrimmage, give him 6 routes where he literally turns and faces the quarterback and catches the ball. You give him slant routes. And Quinton Johnson, I think, could be. I'm not saying he's going to be great for fantasy, but he could be a good wide receiver in that role. So I know AR wasn't that accurate, but he needs that catch, guys that catch. Yeah, he does. Chargers. Who got it better than us? Who's got it better than us? Got it. Quinton will step up. Yeah, he just kind of Quinton Johnston just kind of needs to do what he did last year. Now that he's not kind of dependent on being that second option. Now he can be like the third option wide receiver on this team, the fourth option, even maybe behind a guy like Tyler Conklin. It's like you do what you did last year. I'm not expecting him to ever reap. This is coming from I'm a Chargers fan, kind of. I was more of a Chargers fan when they were in San Diego, but this is coming from a potential Chargers fan. But I I don't ever expect him to pay back, be worth his 21st overall or wherever he was taken in the first round. But you just kind of do what you did last year, Quinton Johnston. Give me 60 catches, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns, and not drop the ball. I'm fine. I think that's going to be good for. I think that's going to be really good for the Chargers and Justin Herbert. So, as I go ahead and take Savion, what are we thinking about Isaac Tesla? Anything there? I mean, Jameson Williams, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him, but Jameson Williams could be coming into his last year on the Chargers. Only in mock drafts do I have my original pick. It's refreshing. Yeah, absolutely. I asked because I have the 210 and I've been back and forth between what I'm targeting. You ask about Blue at the 210. Yeah, that's right where I have him. So I would be fine with Dylan Sampson, Jaden Blue, Vishal Tootin, and Trey Harris in that range. I would be fine with any one of them. I think all those guys are going to have a role. Dylan Sampson, Blue, and Tootin. I think you could probably say that Blue year one has the best chance at being like the guy, right? I don't think he's going to be, but he has the best. I think they're going to use Javonte Williams a good amount, but he does have the best chance at being the guy. I don't think Sampson's going to be the guy over Judkins. I don't think Tootin's going to be the guy over ETN. So I think Quinton Johnson is terrible. Yeah, I think he's not very good either, but you got to play him to his strengths. That's all I'm saying. Just play to his strengths. As I'm going to turn on the auto pick here. Play to his strengths. And now his strengths are like, let him get the ball in his hands type of player, right? And now that you have an outside threat in Trey Harris, now that you got a guy over the middle in Live McConkey, you let Quinton Johnson fill in the gaps everywhere else, right? And I'm fine there. As we do see Isaiah Bond off the board, that obviously wouldn't have happened. If he was a 4th round pick, I wouldn't dislike him. That's the thing, right? Like, oh, he's a 1st round pick, and that's why we hate him, right? I kind of once I know that the player is not going to return their 1st round value, I just say, okay, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? The Chargers scouting department got better when Harbaugh came in. At least they've been lazy for a few years. The running backs the Chargers drafted the last 5 years are terrible. Yeah, we will see. They drafted well at the end of in the middle round last year. Yeah, if you can get Stevie, I should have mentioned if any guys like Tyler Shuck, Scattaboo, Besh, Burden, Kyle Williams, or Higgins are there, I would lean those guys over Blue. So I would lean Kyle Williams over Blue. Yeah. That's why we love Juwan Jennings. Yeah. Yeah. Juwan Jennings is going to be pretty good this year. But yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. We got over 20 people watching. Appreciate everyone. Here's going to be like the schedule for this. We're going to go back to probably our normal schedule, which is about 3 times a week going live. Saturday mornings, Sunday evenings around this time, and then probably Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday. Kyle Williams, James. Kyle Williams. Wednesday, Thursday. One of those nights, maybe both. We'll see how we feel. But we're going to do a lot of Dynasty startup stuff because I think a lot of people are going to be transitioning a little bit to startups. So we're gonna be doing that. And then in about June, we're gonna shift a little bit towards like redraft focus. We kind of do both on this. Channel, redraft and Dynasty, and it's because it's connected, right? It's connected. And so we're still going to talk Dynasty and values and Dynasty price checks. We put out a lot of Dynasty price check videos on players and things like that. And so that's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of startup stuff. And then yeah, we'll transition to a little bit more redraft content. But yeah, James, I would take Kyle Williams in a non-tight end premium. I would take Kyle Williams. Stevie, appreciate you. Who's in your? Can't tell who's in your picture on your YouTube, but whatever basketball team that is, good luck if they're in the playoffs. Marvin says Juwan a fourth saves the game so often. Quentin Johnston catches the ball during week 18 with backups. Yeah, and then he followed that up with Quentin Johnston followed up like that big catch game with a goose egg in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm a half Chargers fan now. I like to say a half Chargers fan because ever since they left San Diego, I've been a little bit less excited. Honestly, if they didn't get Herbert and he didn't hit, I'd probably be less intrigued. Like it's just I don't know. I don't think they should have left San Diego, if I'm really being honest. So that really bothered me how they did it and stuff. So I'd still like to see him do well and things like that. So Spartan just gives him one more year and hope he does better than Flowers from the Ravens. Yeah, and win more in Dynasty. Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. Which is better for 101 trade rebuilding? Tyson says the 101 and a third next year for the 104, his first and a second next year. Okay, so 101 and a third next year for the 104, his first and second next year, or the 101 and 201 for Bucky Irving, the 105 and next year. One. How much of a rebuild is this, Tyson? Are you talking multi-year rebuild? If it's multi-year rebuild, honestly, the 104 and 105 are in the same tier for me. And so I'm probably going to take the second. Yeah, but you're getting rid of the 201 as well. Yeah, if this is like a multi-year rebuild, I think I'm going to take the first trade. Because then I'm not worried about giving up my third. I'm essentially giving up my 101 for the 104, a first and a second next year, right? Which I'm fine with. And then his first and second year, yeah. If you're in if you think you're in a 1 year rebuild, like you're sitting out 2025 and then you're contending in 2026, then I kind of like this the other trade, Bucky 105 and next year's first, because to me Bucky is worth like the 103. So I kind of see that as like I'm getting the 101. Sorry, I'm getting the 103, the 105. And I'm basically getting 3 first round picks, right? So you're 2 to 3 years, then I'd probably do the first one, the first trade. I'd probably do the first trade then. I will say, just because you're in a multi-year rebuild, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't draft Genty. Now you do want to trade him, but if people aren't offering you, if you think you can get more for Genty, or you should get more, you can just take him and say, hey, you're gonna have to pay me in season when he goes off. In this year, hopefully he does when he goes off this year, and then people are gonna get potentially want to pay a lot more when they see the production. People need to see things happen. Go look at keep trade cut, right? Um, Go look at keep trade cut, and look at how every single rookie rises in value as soon as they're drafted, because we need to see something. We need to see evidence, right? Even Cam Ward, who we've known for the last 2 months that he was going 101 to the Titans, as soon as he was picked to the Titans, he moved up 4 spots in value. Why? Well, because we finally saw it. Although we expect it, we finally saw it. It was concrete. It's there, right? That's why he moved up. It seems a little ridiculous, but that's just who we are as humans. There's a lot of psychology when it comes into dynasty and values and stuff like that, and how people interpret things. And one of them is just like we need to see things. So if you feel like Genty's worth a little bit more, right? That like Genty by himself should be kind of worth what Gibbs and Bijan are worth, which is probably 2 first plus. Um, you can wait until he actually goes off and then trade him. Like I don't mind that. I don't mind that because as soon as people see him actually producing at a high level, they're going to be more likely to want to trade multiple, maybe 3 first round picks in value, right? So, but yeah, because if you are taking one of those trades and you are 2 to 3 years, I don't really want Bucky Irving on my team. And so I'm just going to take the 104, his next year's first and second, and only give up essentially my 101, right? So that's what I would do there, Tyson. I don't really want Bucky on my team if I'm in a 2 3 year rebuild. Obviously, if he's there, I have him, great. But I'm not trading. It's kind of why am I trading away Ashton Genty? Well, it's because I'm 2 3 years away from competing. So um Mr. Magic's here, our redraft. These are starting soon, Mr. Magic. We were just talking about this. Probably June. Probably June. And all you dynasty players out here, are you interested in doing redraft mocks as well? Like not today, but like, do you guys play redraft and you would do redraft mocks with me? Because um, I I play both. I love both. I love redraft and dynasty. I love what they both have to offer. Like I still get really excited for redraft every single year, even though I do like dynasty a little bit more. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that. You dynasty players, if you do play redraft as well. Mike Williams was a bust until Justin Herbert unlocked him, and it was too late. Mike Williams is not the right pick for us either. Yeah, Mike Williams was better. Um, he was a bust his first year, but he scored 10 touchdowns his second year, and then he had a good 2019. So Rivers was, he only had 600 yards, 650 yards in 2018, but he had 10 touchdowns, and then he had over 1,000 yards, but only 2 touchdowns. So yeah, he was the wrong pick. Who went in that draft? That was the 2017 draft. Um, the 2017 draft. So they took Mike Williams. Oh, McCaffrey. That would have been nice. Patrick Mahomes. Oh yeah, that would have been nice. Marshawn Lattimore, Deshaun Watson, Hassan Reddick. Yeah, there was a lot of other players to potentially take there. That's for sure. There's potentially a lot of other players there. Um, Marvin says, I want to offer DK Kamara Flower owner 26 first or BTJ and a 27 first. What's the question here, Marvin? What's the question here? Want to offer DK Kamara Flowers owners 26 first or BTJ? Let yeah. What's the question there? Uh, Tyrese Maxey from Philadelphia. Great season for football, nightmare for basketball. Yeah, I haven't watched an NBA game in years, man. I don't know. I was never. I think part of it was just I didn't really have a team. So I'm all baseball and football, to be honest. I follow the other sports and stuff, but it's mostly baseball and football for me. You could potentially get BTJ and something else. Is it worth flipping the running back for a long term? To me, it is. I would trade Genty straight up for BTJ. Like I would want the BTJ side. So I would definitely want the BTJ side. Yeah. Um, so yeah, absolutely, absolutely, it's worth that. Jackson Dart greater than Drew Allar, probably, probably. Who are some guys that are overvalued their ADP at wide receiver and running back? You talking about redraft here, so let me pull those up real quick. 2025. Let me pull up my rankings that I have here. That guys that I feel like are a little bit overvalued wide receiver wise. I'm always going to be worried about guys like Saquon and Henry. Saquon coming off of almost 500 touches this year. Henry is just the age, but I don't think they're overvalued. Honestly, the running backs are really damn good this year. Really damn good. Aaron Jones, maybe RB21. I have right now. He could be a little bit overrated. Pacheco potentially, but I don't know. Wide receiver. Let's see the wide receiver spot. I'm a little bit worried about a couple guys in the wide receiver position. Tyreek Hill, a little bit. I love him like in Dynasty and buying low, but like, is he just over the hill? Garrett Wilson, I am worried about, and I'll tell you why. Um, I know everyone's going to point to the DJ Moore season that he had with Justin Fields. One of DJ Moore's best season for fantasy for his NFL was with Justin Fields, right? 2023, DJ Moore had almost 1,400 receiving yards. He had 1,364 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns on 96 catches. Here's why I'm worried about Garrett Wilson and why I think there's a good chance that Garrett Wilson can't do what DJ Moore's going to do. Obviously, that was a low passing volume because Justin Fields that year and the Bears in general only threw for 3,000 yards, and DJ Moore was almost a half of it, right? He was over 1,350 yards, right? DJ Moore is a playmaker, explosive guy, right? Like he can do a lot with a little, right? That's kind of what his career is. A little bit more yards per reception, a little bit more explosive. He can have a 3-4 catch game and still be fantasy relevant. Garrett Wilson is not really hasn't been that in his career. Like he's been extremely target. Like he's been targeted like at a high rate. His targets is 147, 168, 154. Like the guy's literally averaging like over 150 targets per season, but he's not explosive with it. And so I am a little bit worried about Garrett Wilson, even though he's the only guy there. I think they're going to run the ball more. So I'm just worried about what that means for Garrett Wilson. I really am. Anyone else? I mean, Zay Flowers is always going to be, to me, overvalued. Like he's always going to be around the low end wide receiver 2 value, but he just hasn't produced like that. He's been more of a wide receiver 3 in his career. I don't really see the Ravens offense changing at all. Like it's the Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry show, and Lamar Jackson just threw for over 4,000 yards and 41 touchdowns. 4,000 yards and 41 touchdowns. And Zay Flowers didn't even have. He had 4 touchdowns. That's worrisome. That's pretty worrisome for me. Let's see what you got here. Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins. I think there's a chance we haven't seen the best of Nico Collins yet. So I know they brought in a lot of weapons there, But Nico Collins to me is the clear cut number one guy. Like you have Christian Kirk, and then you have a couple rookies and Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll. You know, Dalton. Like to me, it's like clearly Nico Collins, and I think Stroud can kind of bounce back a little bit if that offense aligns back. So I don't think Nico Collins. I have him as a top 10 wide receiver, and I think that's fair for. That's where I would draft him. Godwin, sure. Godwin, I'd be a little bit worried about just coming back from the injury, a little bit older of a player. You got Emeka Ibuka in there. My concern with Godwin is one is the injury, and two is Emeka Ibuka, who played like 90% of his snaps in the slot last year at Ohio State, and we need Godwin to play in the slot. The reason why he wasn't good for fantasy those couple of years is, I think it was. I think it might have just been 1 year though. It was either I think it was just 2023. It's because they took him out of the slot. And then he went back to the slot last year and look what he did. So that is a little bit of concern. I'm probably going to pass on Godwin unless I can get a value on him. Terry McLaurin, no, I'm all in on McLaurin, kind of repeating. I know it was touchdown heavy, but they don't really have anyone else I'm worried about. The Commanders, like they don't have anyone else I'm worried about taking away from Terry McLaurin. I know Debo's there now. But other than that, it's kind of the same guys, right? Noah Brown, Zach Ertz, Luke McCaffrey, Michael Gallup's there. I didn't realize that. I think Debo is going to be good for Jaden. I don't think it takes away from McLaurin at all. At all. Rice suspended. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm kind of in on Rashee Rice. Even if he gets suspended for a few games, I'll still be in on it. I liked Mahomes at the time, but Watson was the play. Regardless, Mahomes or Watson on the bench for 2 years over Mike Will was sure, for at least 1 year. My offer: DK, Kamara, Flowers, owners, 26 first for BTJ, and 27 first. What do you think? So sorry, Marvin, you're saying you're offering Metcalf, Kamara, Flowers, a 26 first for BTJ and a 27 first? Let me know if I got that right. Sorry if I didn't. I'm a little bit confused about you're offering all of that. DK, Kamara, Flowers. And I do need to know how many players you're starting as well. If it's a deep starting roster, well then guys like DK, Kamara, Flowers, like these guys are all important to your rosters and stuff. So okay, that's the right offer. And what's the starting roster? I know you probably told me before, but is it like a 12-team start, 10-man start 9? Give me BTJ. Give me BTJ in the 27 first. Because you need heavy hitters there, man. 12-man start 9 is a 12-team less than a start 8 equivalent. Absolutely, you need heavy hitters. It's BTJ. BTJ in the 27 first pretty easily. Rivers went to the Colts. Our trainer stabbed and nearly killed Tyrod. Yeah. The Mike Williams stuff is bad. James says in a deep rebuild at the 303, Shuck, Sanders, or Hunter. I'm going Shuck. Shuck's going to start. It's funny that and I get why we're still drafting. Shador Sanders, but why is no one talking about drafting Dylan Gabriel here? Why is no one talking about drafting Kyle McCord or Will Howard, right? It's because Shador, we all thought he was going to be a first-round pick and stuff. It's just a little funny. But yeah, I'm going Shuck. I'm going Shuck because you are 100% going to be able to trade Tyler Shuck. As soon as he's starting a game, you're going to 100% be able to trade him for more than a single third-round pick. Whether you trade him for 2 seconds, a first, 1 second, an early second, whatever, you're going to 100% be able to trade him for more than the 303 very easily. And so I'm not saying you're drafting Chuck and keeping him, but you're going to be able to turn him into a value very, very easily because he's going to start this year. He's going to start this year. Whereas Shedeur Sanders, I don't know if he's going to start this year. I don't know. B-Dog drafted Ashton Jeanty with first pick in Dynasty and Tyler Warren with the last pick of the first round. What do you think about them? Love them. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that Ashton Jeanty is going to be awesome. He's going to be awesome. Tyler Warren is, to me, just a really damn good player. I don't care that he's with Anthony Richardson and the Colts. I don't care. Like, I really, really, really don't care. Because I think he's going to be one. I mean, those guys could be gone. Like Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones could be gone by next year. Brock Bowers, we all hated it. Hated the landing spot. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Devontae Adams, Jacoby, and he was like the tight end 1 or 2. And what Warren is so good after the catch, that he's going to produce in spite of Anthony Richardson. It might not be quite the ceiling as if you were playing with Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert, but he's still going to produce in spite of him, right? And so he's going to be awesome. I've been Tyler Warren over Loveland the entire offseason. I was Tyler Warren over Loveland even after the first round, and I was especially over them after the Bears took Luther Burden. I think Loveland's going to have an issue. Obviously, you have DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden. Cole Kmet is going to be a little bit of a thorn in the side of Loveland, in my opinion, just like Dawson Knox is kind of a bit of a thorn in the side for Kincaid. You go look at Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox played. He played in 60% of the team's snaps last year. In the games he played in 60% of the Bills' snaps. Right? Dalton Kincaid played 56.7%. Dawson Knox was playing more than Kincaid. Why? Well, because Knox can do all the other things that tight ends need to do for an offense. And Cole Kmet can do all those things. Tyler Warren can do all those things by himself. So to me, that's a incredible value at the 112. I assume you have a 12 teams, even if it's a 10 team. Tyler Warren is, to me, he shouldn't be going any later than the 10th overall pick. So, is it tight end premium? Is it tight end premium, B-Dog? If not, it doesn't matter. You still got good value for him. James, I really, really appreciate you. Really kind of you. And yeah, I love doing this. Love helping you guys. It's going to be a good season, guys. Like I said, we're going to maintain going live 3 times a week, basically through July. As we get closer to the football season, we're going to ramp it up. During the football season, I'm going to be live. Me, my brother, my father, or me by myself. We're going to be live every single day during the football season. Maybe we miss a day. Maybe it's only for 30 minutes. We're going to try and go live every single day of the football season, answering your start-sit questions, essentially your trade questions, your dynasty questions, your redraft questions. So we're going to be here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys all join us. But James, I appreciate you very, very much. Yeah, B-Dog, I think you did well there. Anyone else? Did you have any other picks, B-Dog, or is it still going on your draft? JSN is going to be better this year, or is he going to be better this year? One thing I'll say about JSN is that he was the top 10 wide receiver last year in total points, but his points per game were a little bit lower. So he's wide receiver 9 in PPR, but his points per game was actually wide receiver 20. So I think he does perform better than, does he finish as wide receiver 9? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say he's going to be better than that. But does he perform better than wide receiver 20 in points per game? I think so. Now, if he stays healthy the whole year, that means he's probably going to be better than wide receiver 9. So I'll say yes. I'll say he finishes better. Maybe he's not the exact. Maybe he's wide receiver 11 in total points, but his points per game is better than wide receiver 20 because he was actually more of a wide receiver 2 than a wide receiver 1. So my only worry about him, and you mentioned it here with Cup, my only worry about JSN is that I really don't want him to lose his slot percentage. He was playing. Now, does he have to play as much as he did last year? No, because he played quite a lot last year in the slot. I'm trying to find what his slot percentage was here. I'll let you know here in just a second. So his snap by position, he played 733 snaps in the slot, which was 78%. So that can come down a little bit, and I'll still be okay. But I don't want it to drop below 50%. And so I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm not super worried about Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp could be good. Let me just say that. But he is 32 years old, hasn't been able to stay healthy since his big year back in 2021 or whatever it was. So I think JSN is going to be better than wide receiver 20 points per game this year. So I had to draft Jackson Dart over Scatterboo, and I didn't like that. I would have done that, B-Dog, in a super flex, I assume you're playing in. If it's a super flex, sorry, 1 second. If it's a super flex, I would have taken Jackson Dart over Scatterboo pretty easily. And the only reason why, B-Dog, is quarterback value in super flex is too hard to pass up on. If you hit on these guys, if Jackson Dart hits, and by I mean hit, I mean he's a top 15 to 17 quarterback. He's a QB2 in a super flex league, right? If that's what he turns into, he's going to be more valuable than 90% of the players taken in this draft, right? There's probably going to be a handful of guys more valuable than Jackson Dart if he turns out to be a top 15-ish quarterback in a super flex dynasty league. It just is, right? And so that's why you take those guys. Whereas if Cam Scatterboo, if in order for Cam Scatterboo to get to that level, he has to be top 10, top 7. Okay, so it's not a super flex. I probably would have taken Scatterboo. Forget everything I just said. I probably would have taken Scatterboo, but I don't think it's too far off where they should go. I don't think it's too far off. I don't think it's like a huge mistake, right? One thing about Jackson Dart that people don't realize, he could. There's a path for him being better than Cam Ward for fantasy football because Jackson Dart. Now I don't know. I think Cam Ward can move a little bit as well. I don't know how they're going to use him in terms of the run game and stuff, but Jackson Dart had a season in college where he rushed for over 600 yards. And Dayball and the Giants, they like using their quarterbacks in the run game. That's part of their offense, right? Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, guys like that. So there's a world where Jackson Dart's actually better for fantasy football than Cam Ward. I'm not banking on it. And I think Cam Ward's a much better quarterback. But there's a world if Jackson Dart's going to run the ball like 400 yards rushing, 500 yards rushing, he's going to be sneaky good for fantasy, like Daniel Jones was that 1 year, right? But yeah, I probably would have taken Scatterboo, but I don't think it's like an egregious mistake. So, Ayuk, where do I have Ayuk? I'm worried about. I think Ayuk's a buy low for Dynasty. Obviously, you're talking about redraft. I'm a little bit worried about the injury. Brandon Ayuk was one of those. Him and Diggs were the two that I always confuse, or I always mistake how much they actually played last year. They both basically played half the year. Brandon Ayuk did not tear his ACL until October 20th. For some reason, I always think there was someone else, and I'm blanking on who it was. Because Stephon Diggs also played 8 games. There was someone else who tore an ACL or got injured and they did it within like the first few weeks. You guys remember who it was? I'm trying to remember. I always confuse it with Ayuk and Diggs. So I'm a little bit lower on Ayuk. I have him as my wide receiver 37 right now, but that's just a wait and see. It's May 4th and we have no idea. If he's out there in training camp and stuff, I could bring him up higher. People are kind of incredibly low on Ayuk, but I could still see him having a good year for sure. He just has to be healthy. Just has to be healthy. So, but anyways, guys, I'm probably going to take off. If you have any more questions, drop them in the chat. We're going to be live again, probably Wednesday or Thursday night. And if you're not in our Discord, join our Discord. You can ask whatever trade questions, draft questions. It's all free. Hop in there. Obviously, like and subscribe if you're watching on replay, watching now. Appreciate everyone. We're going to be continuing to put out the Dynasty content. And yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. And appreciate you all. And we'll see you guys in the next stream, Wednesday or Thursday night. Be on the lookout for it. Take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening.